I feel that it's a project that I had wanted to see happen a long time ago, and it's rewarding to see this process actually taking place now.
I've enjoyed it to the point where I think we could have more of that. I'm really hoping it reaches a conclusion that it is integrated, because it has been something that I felt synthesized many views, considering where we've come now, especially considering recent events. It did feel like it gathered energy from many different views. So that I found very positive.
It has been an interesting process, quite diverse, and I think challenging not only for me but for the people presenting, because receiving feedback from people who are not technical I think is challenging and might not be what actually the architects would have wanted to hear, but I think most of them actually received the feedback quite well and were enthusiastic about it. For me it has been enriching, and I've learned quite a lot, not only about the current situation and where we are going towards, but of the various possibilities that we have actually.
When I got the mail from the group, I was a little bit confused. Am I the right person for this? Because I was not clear. No, I didn't have that clear idea about Dreamweaving, because I heard this, but there was not much awareness about this. But when I asked one of the facilitator, is it okay? Because I don't have any technical, I'm an animal care social worker. She said, it's okay. You don't need to be any special. You just need to be there, because that's why you selected by randomly with the community. So people like me who work for Auroville, we never get a chance to involve with these kind of activities. So first day for me it was a little bit confused. Okay. Then I listen just 1 hour and I just observe other people. Everyone is same like me. There is nothing special. There is no I felt equality, so that's very important. I was really excited to continue this. And end of this session, I got more clarity about Auroville, what is Crown, what is Galaxy. More about Auroville, that's very important. Just single word Auroville means what is Auroville. Then I am understanding. I got an opportunity to learn more about this.
This is some kind of a very lifetime experience, having so many architects who have a very good understanding of Auroville, who are not also new, but rich experience here. And they've also used the plans that have been worked by other architects in the past. So they have taken as a guidance and worked to it. So it's really, we can't imagine this kind of a work being done, the effort that they really put, and going into very detail, to see what is existing and what needs to come. So this all is a very good planning process. So I'm really happy to be this part of the process. But I was a little bit on the thing are only the architects going to develop the entire city? But when the process went through, when they invited people from all different focus groups and also community members, so I thought it's a whole process that includes all parts of Auroville or all people of Auroville into this planning process. So which is the specialization of this Dreamweaving process.
To me, this was very there was a lot of listening happening. For the first time in 3 months, I felt in a place, but not in a space of anxiety or frustration. So I felt really a space to dream.
At least I'm not aware of a situation where so many architects, almost more than 30, but if you include all the other interventions, it's really a large number, and they've all come together. And they're all getting over their personal spaces, contributing together to something that doesn't, at least materially, benefit them. So if you think of the aim of Auroville, it's all about all of us coming together and be filled with self-giving. And that self-giving and that wholeness of self-giving gives birth to this collective realization, to this fraternity of collaboration. So what's been wonderful is to see the level of collaboration with all the people.
The space has been held really nicely, and it feels like everyone knows what's happening. And I think then that gives everyone that feeling of confidence in the process, and so they then adapt to that, and it becomes very secure and safe. I think there's two really nice things that are coming through. One is ideas, and some are a bit naive and a bit sort of up in the air, but I think that's important because it's like you don't want everything to be perfect and perfect to go and ready. So I think it gives us a spectrum of ideas. No, some are really practical, and yeah, you could do that tomorrow, and some are like, woo, you know. So that's good. I mean, I think that's healthy. It's not that everyone feels confined and constrained by what they think they should be doing. And then I think there's a sort of a clear understanding of perspectives and ground realities. So there's the aspiration to create the galaxy, but the ground realities today are different than they were in 1960. And so I think that sort of information is being quite well presented and positioned. And you see it's still fragmented between different presentations, but I think at the end of the process, that information will come out as a coherent body of information, which is really important and interesting. If someone wants to do a kind of an intelligent DPP that takes into effect the ground realities, I think that's what we need, and that's how we can express it to someone who's coming in to do the work.
It's a very inclusive program. It's a very inclusive atmosphere. There was a willingness to understand and listen to each other, which has gone all the way till now. So yeah, that's why I have goosebumps again, because yeah, it's fantastic.
It's been really good. It's something that I really wanted to be in place, let's say. And I see that this is basically addressing the issue from the start and understanding how to best carry this forward rather than just trying to push things forward. Wherever it is in the world, this is the sort of, not necessarily exactly the same process, but what you're doing is you're doing polls and surveys with the people that would be affected, and that's the only way you can actually bring these things forward.
The interesting idea was bringing them together on a platform where you would look at timelines. And what I mean by timelines is actually looking at the past, present, and the future. For me, this whole process of dreamweaving was quite incredible because the usual suspects of the people, planners, and the program has been brought together, but also whether it was just a happy coincidence or the grace of Mother, I can't say. Almost all proposals look at the present and the future simultaneously.
Yeah, it was quite unexpected because we came and we started presenting. I thought we'll be more talking, but we started working and presenting. And I think that is the key to bringing out anything relevant on a table. What we did here was we came here, we put out what we really saw was a possibility of, the existing scenario in Auroville, the existing realities in Auroville, how to, relate the galaxy plan to those realities.
We were not as hopeful when we started as we are now because there were a lot of questions, doubtful and all these things. But then we went on, because every step of it, every coming together, every meeting that we had with each other, all the discussions gave us a little bit of spark to move forward. The experience a human has got through this process, the opportunities that it gave through this process is never going to be taken away from me. I mean, so same for whomever has participated. That I felt is very much needed for us, and it will reflect somewhere in the progress of Auroville.
It was a long process, very dense process with a lot of movement toward other people and then inwards. I learned a lot, and I go back to a lot of important things. I read again what Roger Anger envisioned for the galaxy. I read again the chart of Auroville. So it was quite good for me as a Aurovillian also to reconnect with the core of my existence in Auroville. There was a lot of joy also in creating and inventing a possible future which is not only imposed on us, but that we can create ourselves.
When we started it, we kind of knew where we were going, but during the process, I realized probably we got too involved, basically, yeah, and then it becomes very intense, and you can't let it go, and you have to keep going, and that's where we found ourselves, yeah. It's like each question you ask, you get some answers, but then you have other questions which you need to resolve, and then till you do it, you can't sleep. So yeah, we're glad it's over actually. For now at least, part 1 is over, let's say.
Overall, given the task, I think it was really greatly organized. I hope it can serve as a blueprint for other planning processes that we have to do in the community, not only related to architecture, but about general aspects of planning.
It's been a learning experience for us also, right from the expert session to the presentations of each architect and to the deliberations to the concluding sessions. We have seen how the ideas also have converged and what are the critical areas that have emerged. So in that sense, it has helped us. And the process, of course, has brought a lot of diverse groups together to work with each other. Very much part of Auroville existence, and we wish to kind of take that further and build upon that.
I think it's been I'm absolutely amazed, firstly, the amount of talent that resides in Auroville itself. I mean, I'm not just talking about the architects, but I'm people experts in various fields, whether water or, infrastructure, or even in the different arts and, music and filmmaking and etc. So that's been quite a revelation that how such a small set of small community produces excellence. That's, I think, amazing. The other part of it is that I see fantastic enthusiasm for the process that has been set in place now. And I see a sort of let's say, a common direction sort of coming out of this, emerging out of this process. And that's very important now that if you're talking about a participatory planning system, then how do you get this in place is a very important aspect. How do you carry everybody together? Because any planning process is a complicated process. It's not a simple thing of just doing drawings or putting up, nice colors to say this is the land use. It is much more complicated because it's the dreams, aspirations, and hopes of the existing community. And they're also setting up precedents for the community as it grows, of people who will come by in the future and the kinds of aspirations they will have. So I think it's, and their children, of course, children and grandchildren, because communities proliferate over time. So I think it's very important to have this kind of a community participation.